we're live here. All right. If we're live, welcome to Tuesday Principal Cairo broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. Can we get Andy in there too? It's just me and Emma. Hey, there he is.
Hey!
Andy.
How are we, Emma?
Good.
Awesome. We're pretty excited about DE, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. All right. Brian, you want to go ahead and do the advertisements or announcements, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, I don't think we're live, though. I know we're live on here, but we have to share the stream to Facebook here. So, I mean, it's great that we're talking here, but unless somebody's out there, if for some
my thing says everyone can hear you. Everyone can see.
Right. Okay, it's live, but it has to be shared to Facebook, like the DE page. I don't know if that's live yet here. Let's see here. Maybe it is. Let me check. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Oh, okay.
Stand by.
All right, I see it.
Stand
okay.
by.
All right, we're on there. Okay.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, it's on the DE business page. So Kat usually shares it to a few other places, but we'll get it there. So anyway, welcome everybody to the Tuesday night. Wait a minute, we got to do it again. Welcome everybody to the Tuesday night Principal Cairo broadcast from DE and Band of Brothers. I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, and I'm joined by Emma. And I'm also joined by my good friend, Dr. Andy Harding.
Woohoo!
Oh, she actually cheered for you. I wouldn't have cheered for you, but that's okay. And guys, this is a very special Tuesday night here because it is DE week. Are you excited? Who's excited for DE week?
Woohoo!
He's silly, huh?
Woohoo!
You know what theme music he comes into? SpongeBob SquarePants, okay? She can hardly contain it. So anyway, guys, it's DE week, Tuesday night. We start in 2 nights, 48 hours away. We'd have Darcy Anderson, the amazing Darcy Anderson, for this kickoff one, but Darcy sadly had a conflict. So you're stuck with these two boobs, okay, abort mission. You're stuck with me, Andy, and Emma until she has to go to bed in a second. So, but anyway, what we wanted to do, guys, is we wanted to get on here and we wanted to kind of talk about this upcoming DE, about some new and special things. It's the 60th anniversary of DE. Andy, how excited are you for the 60th anniversary?
60 years. Amazing.
Yes. And how many years have you been going, Andy?
I've been going for 16 years.
Wow. That's 16. Awesome.
And guess how long this guy has?
How long?
Oh, boy. I remember you came your first one, buddy. I remember.
Yep. 10 years for this guy. Even though you're only 9 years old, I don't know how that worked out, but okay. Yeah. So anyway, kids, go to bed here. All right, we got to get serious here. We're losing viewers. The one viewer we had. Oh, bye, Andy from Patrick. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Andy.
See you this weekend.
Yeah. So anyway, let's Andy, let's get into this DE here. Let's pull up the schedule here and kind of talk about what's going on here. We got obviously we have the gala that's going to be pretty special on Saturday night, but really there it is. Okay, good. I was wondering if we're going to get some overlays. The gala, there we go. Just like Diamonds D's Forever. James Bond themed formal evening. So Andy, make sure you're dressed up. You cannot wear shorts. Get all dressed up. 6:30 Saturday, October 26th, at Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center, obviously where DE is being held. There's a casino night, Andy. Are you at all going to be playing a little blackjack, some craps, some poker? Does that sound exciting
the bones,
to you?
baby. Rolling
Lady
the bones.
Luck.
Rolling the bones. Rolling the bones.
It is. It's pretty much sold out. We got 250 people coming to the gala, so it's pretty much sold out. If there may be a stray ticket or two, where we could like put you in a table in the corner or something like that. But if anybody does not have their gala tickets yet, please get them. But there was only just a straggle one or two left, but pretty much sold out. Casino night, great history. It's gonna be a great program. Steve Judson will be there, so you won't want to miss that. And Andy, are you getting super dressed up? Do you have a tuxedo, or what's your attire like for that?
You know, I bought a tux for my daughter's weddings, and it looks like a suit. So it's a tux, but it's a suit, and that's what I'm rocking. That or my overalls. I'm not sure which way I'm going, but yeah, I'm fired up about it. You know, this, in all seriousness, this DE I think is important because there will be people, some new people, but maybe some people who haven't been in a long time. You hear a lot of people, you know, you and I have traveled a lot and talked to a lot of people. And when you talk about DE, oh, I didn't realize that it's still going since Dr. Sid passed and everything. And you know, there's a lot of people who don't know you and I, and, you know, they think of DE and they think of Dr. Satilli, you know, Dean's dad. They think of, you know, Sigafus and Curso and a lot of the people who've passed. And they don't realize the new crew and how strong it is and how wonderful it is. And, you know, I was thinking about, you know, I have no idea what I'm going to say on the stage because I feel like it's important. But you and I are two people who came to DE as basically ranked mixers and kind of lost chiropractors, and it saved our chiropractic soul. So I just want everybody to know that everybody's welcome. I don't care where you're walking chiropractic or where you're walking life is, period. It's one of the most welcoming and loving people and groups of people. And Greg Clear mentioned on one of these calls that DE is a place for the chiropractors to come heal. And I know for Greg, that's very true. And for me and for you. So yeah, wherever you are in your chiropractic journey, you're welcome. You're going to be embraced. You're going to be loved. And if you haven't been for a while, we can't wait to see you.
Yeah, that's a great point, Andy, because if it was just a meeting of all the straight chiropractors, me and you would have never come to DE and had our lives changed.
100%.
So, you know, come one, come all, listen to the message. There's no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. And we just want to love on people and make connections. And I think it's just going to be an incredible, incredible time. So I know we're going to have a special guest here in a minute to talk a little bit more about DE. So, guys, there's some surprises coming out of this. We pulled out all the stops for this thing.
All the stops tonight, baby.
So get ready. A special guest is going to be coming. But Andy, what are your thoughts on, you know, the Thursday night program? You know, you're going to get there for Thursday. What do you like about, you know, listening to Steve Judson and Dee Dee Umber and 49 Breaths? How does that kind of set the tone with you?
You know, I just had a conversation about an hour ago with Tom D'Amico, and Tom was talking about, well, since Dr. Sid's been gone, Thursday's totally different. And I was like, it is different, but man, I love Dr. Umber. And when Dr. Umber, when I first came to DE, I thought Dr. Umber was just the MC and he just introduced everybody. But to hear Dr. Umber talk on Thursday night, typically, and to hear him tell the story and the history and his journey, and you know, yes, seeing Dr. Sid on video, but then hearing, you know, just it sets the tone for the event. It sets the tone for what we are, what we're trying to do, what to expect. It's just and again, like I say, you are going to have an opportunity to see a living legend, a historical figure in the world of chiropractic. And the man is 90, 91 years old. So who knows how many more of these he's going to be able to participate in. So that in itself is worth the ticket right there.
Awesome. And then we mentioned Steve Judson. You know, he's our Thursday night MC and he shares. And yeah, I mean, it's an incredible program, you know, the 49 Breaths. And speaking of Steve Judson, there it is. Woo-hoo! There he is, the motherlode, Dr. Steve Judson. What's up, pal? How you doing?
Welcome to Wheel of Fortune. I got my special headphones on. I'm sitting on my patio here listening to the geese. So you might hear geese in the background. Hopefully this drowns it out.
You're good.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thanks for taking the time to be on there. I feel like I need to duck under this banner here, but um, anyway, like we were telling everybody, this is going to be an incredible DE we've got coming up, the 60th anniversary. You won't want to miss it. Steve, just real quick, tell us a little bit about why this one is going to be extra special, and why people, if for some reason they still haven't registered, or they haven't registered for the gala, why this one might be the one that they want to just jump on and get to.
Well, I think it's a really pinnacle moment, understanding the legacy that's been set forth this weekend coming up. So within a span of a month, one man has been honored. One, you got Life University celebrating 50 years. And then two, Dynamic Essentials celebrating 60 years. And what you got to understand, it was one man's vision, Dr. Sid Williams, and that's our leader. That's the visionary. But the coolest thing to realize too is we all have that same potential as Dr. Sid, and he would want us to have the same potential. You know, people oftentimes say, what would BJ do? What would Sid do? Well, how about what would you do? Right? What's going to happen in the next 60 years with this profession? And when we wake up and realize that every single person coming through DE, let alone the rest of the profession, is going to have an impact for the positive or negative for the future of chiropractic. And if you look at everything that Dr. Sid set out to do, it was about serving the masses. It wasn't ultimately about making a buck or a quick fix or having a 3-day report that you can make millions of dollars off less people. It was about making $1 million or millions of dollars or serving a lot of people, right? Because the ultimate thing is being a server and losing yourself in service. And you don't get there without vision. And Dr. Sid listened to the voice within, and he said, this profession needs help. And 60 years ago, they had the first Dynamic Essentials meeting. And what came through that was leaders that were built within that room who need the utmost of respect as well, because Dr. Sid couldn't do it alone. He had warriors and fighters and people that were throwing in money behind him to support the vision and be part of the vision. And that's what a room like that breeds, is success, vision, family, abundance, and camaraderie that lasts a lifetime. So to me, it's really cool. You know, it's like I look at my grandfather, and he was a professional wrestler, and people that know wrestling, and you know, they're all dead now, but they would speak about my grandfather. You know, when I really got to know my grandfather, he had Alzheimer's. The dude didn't really remember shit, right? And I would sit there with him and know what an amazing man he was. When you're waking up in this chiropractic profession, and many people have not even met Dr. Sid, but to understand what he has done. And it started in that little room that we call Dynamic Essentials, creating vision, camaraderie, and fellowship that, for me personally, speaking for myself, I would not be the man I am today without showing up in that room. And to realize the power that we can generate and create in that room and transform people's lives. And each of you on this call with me right now have had your life changed 180 degrees, created absolute abundance by being a pure, principled, fired up chiropractor. And you had all of us behind you and with you, hand in hand along the way. So,
Amen.
you know, for me, it's like, listen, I've been one of the biggest mouths from the platform, and calling out coaches. You know, we don't need coaches, just come to DE. Well, I'm here to tell you that culture has changed. People need help, right? I'm coaching people now. I've had no choice. I've been backed into a corner, and people are saying, well, Judson's coaching now. But because people want to have their hand held. They need fellowship and camaraderie. But my whole thing is bring them to DE. I'm not going to run off and start my own seminar and tell people to stop going like many have in the past. We can't do that. We can't reproduce that. We have to get that room to 1,000, 2,000 people that are coming to serve people, learn how to build abundance and serve people, which is why I'll never talk about my thing at DE. DE made me. DE has made me into a man today that has 5 kids and a wife that love and adore me, and I haven't fucked up that relationship. And I'm sorry, Dr. Umber, for cursing, but there's no better way to say it. I did not screw up those relationships because I learned a lot of what to do at DE, what not to do at DE. And now the new leadership that's been doing this for the past 10 years or so, we were smart enough to make it a nonprofit because people would say, well, you guys are making money. We don't make a dime off of it. I spend more money than mostly anybody going there, flying in all my kids and associates and doctors and all CAs from all our offices because I know it could transform their lives. It's an investment for the future. But where there is no vision, people perish. And if you could sit in that room and actually put the work in and create relationships and be honest with yourself and say, okay, where am I struggling? Where am I having problems? And hey, Steve, who here in this room is good at financial freedom, at an orientation, at a day one, at screenings? I could point out 20 people that you could go have a conversation with for free and get all that information you need. The biggest hurdle is getting over your emotions. And for me, personally, speaking of myself, showing up at DE has helped me shed my husks, shed my bullshit, shed the emotional baggage that was thrown on me by other people in my life that I just didn't know the difference, that I was able to come and listen to people like Paula Hedgelon, Joe Accurso, Dick Santo, John Boutwell. I mean, every time Boutwell would speak, I'd be in tears just listening to him. Where's that emotion in people? We've gotten too nice. We've gotten too refined. We've gotten too clean and professional. Dr. Sid stuck his head out the window and said, where are the fanatics? It's time to get fanatical again and say, what's this next 60 years going to look like? Because there's no place like Earth anymore in chiropractic like DE. I was talking to my interns today. We used to drive. If you heard people like Sigafus and Boutwell and Santo and Accurso, these guys were giving talks within 3-4 hours of us. We would pile into cars and go sit it and listen to them for hours. We'd be up to the wee hours in the morning breaking down the principle. We got to get back to that. You know, if we lose our philosophy and our passion and fire to change the world, which we can on an international basis, but start with your community. And now you've got hundreds of chiropractors doing it throughout the United States, throughout Europe, throughout Canada. What does this world look like? And we could do it. We just need a meeting place to come to regularly, which is DE, to fellowship and build relationships, harness those relationships, which is why this time we're building teams at this meeting. Red team, purple team, yellow, whatever they are, you're going to show up and have a color on your badge. You're part of that team the entire weekend. And I think the decision's been made that you'll follow that team for as long as you're coming to DE to nurture relationships. It's all about nurturing relationships. I've made my greatest relationships in that room, my best friendships in that room. I've learned how to succeed. I've learned how to get up from failing, and I've learned to realize that my failures are my greatest teacher in life. And if I didn't put the time in there, you know, every speaker that gets up is going to say something from a different angle. And any speaker listening to this, I challenge you, give a good enough talk that people write down 3 notes that are going to change their life Monday morning. Don't go up there talking about your damn house and your boat and your dogs and just say, come to DE 4 times in a row and your life changes. I call bullshit on that now. We need more action steps. We need more fire. We need more steps on what it's done and what you changed in your life. What made Andy Harding stop being a mixer, see more people, and turn his whole life around, where now Andy Harding is transforming lives by showing up at Cleveland College, talking to students about chiropractic, getting them fired up because he had his life changed and he's found his voice in chiropractic. Listen, I found my voice. Andy found his voice. Lieberman found his voice. Martinez found his life by listening to Dr. Sid. But that same voice from within that talks to us spoke to him. We are no different. We just got to have the balls and the integrity to step up and speak out. But we got to create vision and a unity to go out there. And what are we spreading around with people? And that's what DE could do for you. You know, don't show up and just like be quiet in the corner and drink some scotch and then go home Monday and you had an experience. Go there to make a decision to change your life so you can change other people's lives. Go there with the mindset that I want to be abundant, become a wealthy human being by losing myself in service. I want to go there and realize that if I'm wearing dress shoes in my office, I'm not seeing enough people, right? A volume chiropractor wears sneakers. If you're not wearing sneakers, you haven't earned it. And get to the point where you say, I want to earn it where I can wear this damn DE ring that you're going to see 50 people walking around with this weekend and realize it's a badge of honor. It's a badge of honor, and you're proud to say, I'm a DE freaking chiropractor, baby, and I'm all in on this principle. And when we say principal chiropractors, what is your profession? You know what that means, but you're part of it, man. You got me fired up. I love it.
Wow. Wow. I just want to drop the mic.
Drop the mic, right?
Drop the mic right there. I'm fired up. Let's start right now.
Yeah, man.
100%. Steve, you said so much that's so true. We do need fanatical, and I remember this team thing. I think can be pivotal because when I first came to my DE, Brian Lieberman reached out to me and talked to me, and then there was a gap for about 10 months. But we started having the 49 breaths, and I had no idea who these people were, but I heard them every morning. And then when I came my next DE, Eddie Martinez and Tom D'Amico invited me for breakfast, and they explained to me the principle. Then all of a sudden, RJ starts talking to me. That's what we're trying to create with this team thing, where if you're new or you're reactivated for having been to DE for a while, all of a sudden, like you said, a lot of people remember Dr. Satilic, Dean's dad. They remember Sigafus and all those greats, but they're not here anymore. And all of us younger people, they may say, hey, listen to this guy. Go talk to Moriarty. If you want to change your practice, go talk to Moriarty. If you want to do multiple practices, go to talk to Judson and Mike Coster. Whatever. Like you said, there's so many talented people in the room, but a lot of people wouldn't know that unless these ambassadors or whatever we're calling it will reach out to these people and say, what do you need, and we'll give it to you.
One of the biggest things that I'm learning, Andy, like rah. I've spoken at these other conferences, and this is where it all started. Guys out in Washington State or California that are like, listen, I'm having a hard time getting the DE. I can't afford it. Can you help me? So we start having calls. The biggest thing missing? You ask them, why are you a chiropractor? I ask them that. They can't answer it. It's not about a day one, a day two, or how to sell someone on a plan or pay in full and bang them out for 6 months and then throw them on a wellness. Where's your heart?
What's your why?
What's your why? Why are you waking up? What is their purpose? Are you just cracking a neck, or are you freaking setting someone free? And what does that mean? And man, to be able to I get on the phone, they're like, man, I just love it. You're just so raw. You're passionate. Let me tell you something. I'll share some. I'm giving my damn DE talk right now. But one of my new interns, we put her on the spot yesterday, and she did the orientation. And she did a wonderful job. Like, she's prepared, but you're never prepared for your first one. And we're like, it's your time. She got all red in the face, and she got up there, and she closed out with my brother's story. And she started bawling crocodile tears. And I'm like, girl, you've got it. For you to be able to talk about Ronnie and have a visceral reaction where she couldn't even talk. She was so choked up and hurting for what happened to him, and understanding the principle of what could have happened to him. If one chiropractor spoke up and shared the freaking message, that's what it's all about. If I never went to DE and I didn't stand in the back of that room where I walked out 3 times because I thought they were a bunch of freaks, and all of a sudden I heard this guy get up, Michael Kale, talk about the Atlas, the brainstem, BJ Palmer, Clearview Sanitarium, all the research he did, dude, it ripped the soul out of my chest. And I was pinned against the wall, crying like she was crying. And I realized right there, this is why God had me be a chiropractor. And it wasn't a conference where it was like, okay, we're going to teach you how to make $25,000 a week by selling master plans and working 3 days. It was, you're going to bust your ass and work. You're going to do orientations every Monday night. You're going to tell the story. But what's your story? What's your story? What are you passionate about? Do you know how to do that? And that's what we have to be teaching at DE. All these principles. When we say give, love, serve out of your own abundance without attachment to the results, do you know what that means? This is what the groups will be talking about in the corner of the room, in between breaks and speakers. Do you know what drop the keys mean? Do you know what the money hum means? Sid wasn't poor. Sid wasn't about giving shit away. He was one of the wealthiest people in the state of Georgia. I think at one time he was one of the top 5 wealthiest people. Get around people and let's talk wealth. Let's talk real estate. Let's talk in having rental problems, multiple streams of income, the honest way. Not by throwing some people on a freaking jiggly joggy machine that you could bill a freaking insurance for it.
Right.
But being honest and being a damn chiropractor, seeing volume, you could collect $100,000 a month, seeing a beautiful volume practice, and you're changing your neighborhood, you're changing your community, you're changing a culture. And if enough of us are doing that with a very clean message, we change the world one town at a time. And it sounds cliche, but it's not. It can be done. And back in the day, these guys were wild, man. They were fanatic. They didn't give a shit what anyone thought about them. We care too much what people think about us,
Agree.
and we can't.
Agree. Long days,
And have
nights.
long day and have
Sleepless
fun.
nights.
Let's have fun with it, man. Show up to DE when your group, when we're dropping the keys and it's time. Let your group be the most fanatical group. Because when you let yourself go and realize not to care what the person on your left and the right's doing it, you just set yourself free. When you get off that plane back home, whether it's Jersey or St. Louis or wherever the hell you're going, you realize you're never alone again, and you've got a purpose and mission, and you're not afraid of people laughing at you, saying no, making fun of you. You're going to go and speak the message to as many people as you can, because now you're free. You're not holding back. You're not trying to be something you're not. You're not trying to be the professional doctor. You're being the doctor with a mission, a purpose, and an understanding and a faith that God created people self-healing and self-regulating, and that freedom has been stolen by them for them to lose faith in their body. And what has created them from a sperm and an egg and the ability to heal, that freedom has been stolen. They're being lied to, and there's not enough of us sharing that message.
Amen. Amen.
That's awesome. I love hearing about these teams, because I think this is going to be a great way to really connect people. Because I think sometimes when you come to DE, when I went to my first DE, Dean Satilli invited me, and sadly he couldn't even be at that DE. So I walked in, and thankfully so many great people reached out to me and came up to me and started to build the bond. But sometimes you might come and you might not know anybody, and I think these teams are great, because you guys are going to be seeing this when you get there, is that you're going to be part of a team, and you're going to be able to make connections and make some lasting friendships and mastermind. And I think it's just going to be a really rewarding experience that we've never done before. So this is going to be something very special at this one.
And you know what's beautiful about the teams is you could hear 4 people, 5 people speak in the morning, and someone says a couple things, and you're like, what does that mean? What is shed the husks? They keep saying shed the husk. They keep using this language. What does it mean? You ask your team leaders. You have a discussion, right? Because if we're speaking Chinese to you and you're not Chinese and understand it, then you're not getting the message, right? And now it's kind of a feel-good experience, but you're not pivoted to change. When you understand the language and the language of what we can be and what we can create, and now you're set forth to build abundance in your life by creating a new direction and a mindset and changing what's going inside your mindset by changing your words, which is what the teams are going to be instructed to do. How can we help people grow and clear the cobwebs and have more? It's like a patient coming in and not understanding what it is you're going to do to them when they walk in the office to get checked and adjusted. If they don't understand it and don't see the value, they're not coming back. And that's that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I got really lucky. Like I said, at my first DE, as soon as I left the first DE, I didn't come back for like 3 DEs, but they started the 49 breaths. And I remember just sitting there listening on the phone, people talking about chiropractic like I'd never heard before. RJ and Tim Langley and all these guys, and Shargell, explaining chiropractic in a way I never had ever heard of before in my life. And I came back and I was like, I had all these questions. And like I said, I had that breakfast with Eddie and Tom D'Amico, and they sat for an hour and a half explaining what I was just a different language, like you said, right? So this teams thing, not only are they going to have it there, then we'll be able to follow up between meetings. If they have, just text us, and we'll gladly open up. So if you're new or coming and you're assigned to this team, make sure you ask the questions that you want. We're here for you. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
It's gonna be
awesome.
great. It's gonna be great, man.
Yeah.
So
So
let's wrap this up. We're getting into people's time here, but
Nah, let's keep talking, man. Shit.
let's do it.
Freaking chiropractic, man.
Long days, sleepless nights, my man.
I had a conversation, this 50-year-old chiropractor, and listen, I'm not stroking myself, but he read my book and he got really excited, and he called me because he wants to give it to his patients. And he's been practicing for 50 years in California. I'm going to have him on our podcast. And he said, BJ defined it. The message is on page 474 of volume 18, the subluxation specific, okay? The second paragraph, read it. I have it. I gave it to each of my interns today. I taped it to my wall. I'm going to read it every morning before every shift. I'm going to read it at DE to you guys. And it's very simple. And the message, and the message, 474, page 474 of volume 18. It's the biggest book that BJ Palmer ever wrote.
Yeah.
Volume 18, which is where basically all his research came together, and he talked about the power of upper cervical. And then he gets down to Palmer's Law of Life, which is basically, now imagine all his years of experience, and the books got thinner and thinner and thinner. Because the more you talk about chiropractic and the principles, and you'll hear people early on in their careers of speaking, they embellish, and as they get older and they get more polished as speakers, they get to the point quicker, because it's a very simple principle. You're better off not subluxated. Your body performs better not subluxated. The body is at more ease when you're subluxated. You're freaking powerful when you're well adjusted and not subluxated. And the more people that show up to our offices, they're not having medicine cabinets in their buildings and all that kind of crap and doping up their kids. That's not happening. That doesn't happen to chiropractic kids where the parents get the principle. And we've got to learn to be better parents, better friends, better men, accountability on how we can be better as human beings and more powerful and grow this thing. I mean, chiropractic's been around almost 130 years, and we still haven't hit what we could be doing. We have to be honest, but we can, and we will, and it's going to happen. And we've had amazing leaders come through DE that we could learn from, right? Whether it's what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what you want to emulate, what you don't want to emulate, and then take all that and say, now, what can we mastermind? And that's what I love about the groups. You'll see a lot of these groups are a lot of people that have been coming for years, and they've kind of developed their groups, their friendships, and right. And those are the future leaders of this profession and DE. Because I'm going to be dead someday. Lieberman's going to be dead, but some of you younger guys, by the grace of God, you're having this call 40 years from now, leading other people, 30 years from now, leading other people, because it's still going on. And we could now say how much we were able to grow the DE movement, chiropractic, by the grace of God, the ICA. We're working hard on that. We'll see where that goes. And this whole thing comes together, and we're like, it was the freaking DE people, man. And you can wear a ring and say, I'm a freaking DE chiropractor. You bet your ass, and I'm proud of that.
That's awesome. And, one of the things is that it all starts with a spark. And on a Tuesday night call like this, that's where I literally got exposed to DE, was on a Tuesday night call. And it sparked something inside of me to come to DE. So if people are watching and maybe you've never been to DE and you're seeing this, all it takes is that spark and some massive action to just say, you know what, DE's in 2 days in Atlanta. I can get a flight there. I can get a hotel there. Maybe I'll just go crazy and just go and see what these people, want to say. And it will change your life like it changed my life. It changed Andy's life, and I'm sure it continues to change Steve's life. So I couldn't be more excited for the big 60th anniversary in just 48 hours. So, Steve, man, thank you so much for taking the time, for sharing. I initially said, Steve, just come on for 5 minutes and share, but it just was so good. Like I couldn't just kick him off after 5. So, Steve, thanks so much for your heart and passion and for being on tonight.
And real quick, as far as the gala, as of this afternoon, I think there's 10 more seats left.
10. Okay. Yeah.
So, and I've had people call me and say, well, I'm going to see how it goes when I get there. I will guarantee you it will sell out. Because
Right.
we expanded it. We had more tables brought in. We did away with something we were going to have in the room to create more space because we sold out, but people were still calling. But I know people, and they call me. The biggest question I get is, well, how do I get my tux there? You carry it on the damn plane, guys. It's real. That's your hardest decision, right? But they're going to show up, and I feel bad because some people are going to feel left out because they're going to want to get a ticket there, and we're just not allowed. Like there's a capacity issue where the hotel says enough. So if you're on the fence about it, you're not going to want to be left out there. Go buy a tux, or I guess buy a really nice black suit so you don't look like a monkey in a room with everybody that's dressed to the nines, man. Because I know the women are dressing up sharp. We're going to dress up sharp. We're going to celebrate life. We're going to celebrate chiropractic. We're going to celebrate abundance and love and family and friendships. And we're going to take pictures together that I'm going to put on my wall, that I'm going to do my morning gratitude and say, thank you, God, for this experience. All these people in my life, Dr. Sid, Dr. Sigafus, Dr. Santos, Dr. Harding, Moriarty, Martina, all you guys and girls, Paula, Marilyn, everybody, man, like, let's celebrate, man. Like, we can't take ourselves too damn seriously. Let's celebrate, have a good time, be blessed, and have wonderful conversations. I sound like a damn old man. Holy shit.
You know, and not just chiropractors, but we do have students even coming, obviously, to DE and to the gala. And thanks to some generous docs that have even sponsored them, like Dr. Judson here. So, you know, hopefully we can create an unforgettable memory for those students. Dr. Harding, any closing comments you want to impart upon our audience?
I can't implore you enough. Like Brian said, if you're on the fence, not so much for the gala, but the gala is going to be awesome. But just get in that room, the vibration of that room. If you've never been or you haven't been in years, the vibration of that room is life changing, and it's worth it. Like you said, buy a plane ticket or get in your freaking car and drive. It's worth it. It has changed our lives immensely, and I can never give back to DE what it's given to me. So 100%, whatever it is, beg, borrow, steal, get your ass there.
Awesome. And you can go to lifede.com to register, call Kat, and we'll get you guys connected. So thank you, Dr. Harding. Thank you, Dr. Judson, for being on tonight. We'll see you guys in a couple of days. Can't wait to see you, take selfies with all of you, and celebrate 60 years of Dynamic Essentials.
Amen,
Love
baby.
y'all.
All right, guys. Have a great night. See you next Tuesday, and see you this weekend at DE.
Good night.
Good night.